if I just moved 2 more meters to my left, I would technically be in Afghanistan. Don't worry, so we had to beg our way down. The answer is because in rural communities like this,
Poytaxt, знаешь? Dushanbe, poytaxt.
My name is Iftikhar Ziana. You have bicycle?
no, just my 2 legs. Before the Great Game, before the Russian Empire and the British Empire came into this region and started contesting for land, many of these communities were one community.
But what exactly was the Great Game? By 1875, the sticky-fingered Russians and the stickier-fingered Brits were vying for mating rights in the east. Back then, Google Maps wasn't a thing, and all anyone knew was that Afghanistan belonged to, well, Afghanistan, which was great. But Greater India belonged to Britain, now advancing up, and Central Asia belonged to Russia, simultaneously advancing down, with both sides vaguely aware that a major mountain range stood in the middle, the infamous Hindu Kush. Neither side wanted a physical land border, the horrors, so along came the Great Game's great compromise. The Hindu Kush would do the honours. But how to keep these two frenemies really apart with zero chance of a shared border? That's when they noticed Afghanistan sort of just lying there and had a brainwave. A buffer state will drag Afghanistan's borders east till they just tickle China's bottom. Afghanistan was never consulted, and if Britain or Russia thought the new Afghanistan looked weird with a straggly finger pushing through the mountains to poke China's bum, neither gave comment. It's a glorious day in the Wakhi, and I've decided to go exploring on my own terms.
Dushanbe, when?
Poytaxt, знаешь? Dushanbe, poytaxt. Знаешь poytaxt?
But I'm finding that the language barrier is steeper than I'd imagined.
You know, it's moments like this that one could almost be forgiven for mixing up a place like this with those idyllic scenes Enid Blyton used to paint in her children's storybooks. Of course, that was in a post-war England that, you know, never really existed. But I can tell you that as refreshing as the water is, that illusion does persist against the reality that we're no more than about 50 meters from the Tajik-Afghan border. Assalamu alaikum.
Чай.
Чай? Ижвутник нет русский.
Что? По-русски не понимаешь, да?
Понимай, England.
England. Источник был, да?
Sorry?
Кукутуа.
Кукутуа, Ижвутник нет русский, нет Памири, нет Tajik, нет. Just salam alaikum.
I had forgotten that from Turkey to India, chai is the word for tea. I lost out on an invitation from this kindly family.
Hello. How are you? I'm very well. You speak English? Yes.
I am from village Ktup.
Village what?
Ktup.
Patup. Very nice. Very nice. I'm staying over there on top of the mountain. Yes.
You have bicycle?
No, just my 2 legs. What about you? Have you got a bicycle?
No.
Okay.
I have.
So you walked here with your 2 legs? Or did you come with a donkey?
My donkey.
Did you learn English in school? You learnt English in school? Your English is good. Your English is good. Don't be afraid to practice. Is that your family?
Yes, it's my sister.
Right?
It's my mother drink tea.
It's insane that the border's just over there. It really is insane.
How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. You speak English too?
Little.
A little. Very nice. Yeah, is he your brother?
Yeah.
Yes. He was just telling me that you brought your donkeys and your cattle to come and graze here. I'm staying up on the mountain. Yes.
In Bibi Fatima?
Near Bibi Fatima. Very good. Near Bibi Fatima. Maybe 10 minutes walking. And your village is how far away?
2 kilometers.
2 kilometers. What's your name?
My name is Iftikhar. What's your name?
I'm sorry?
Iftikhar.
Iftikhar.
Yes.
My name is Toyyinn.
Toyyinn.
Iftikhar. What's your name, madam?
Irabo.
Irabo?
Yes. Sarah.
Saro. Pleasure to meet all of Pleasure to meet all of you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I've just found a nice little perch and I'm going to enjoy an afternoon of reading this excellent book.
After which, it's back to exploring the delightful Wakhi Valley just on the border with Afghanistan.
Toyyinn is a hot spring. He's swimming in Bibi Fatima. Mr. Toyyinn is enjoying the Bibi Fatima hot spring.
I'm trying to, but it's very warm.
That's why they get hot.
Why are you there? Yeah, you can see me. Now I'm just about to walk back into the house, and I suppose you might ask yourself, well, why have you got to walk back into the house just because you've used the toilet? And the answer is because in rural communities like this in Tajikistan, and indeed the same is true in many other Stan countries in Central Asia and other Muslim countries as well, it's not considered good form in the rural communities to have your toilet located inside your house proper. And so what is common practice in these parts is for the toilet to be situated well away from the house. In this homestay, that's what's called a wet toilet. But in the case of a dry toilet, where it's just a hole in the ground, enclosed within a building, these tend to be a lot further away from the main house. Now, when you think about how they use the toilets here in the winter, don't forget we're at an altitude of about 3,300 meters. They've got to brave not just the winds, but also snow, which can be up to about 1.5 meters thick. You've got to shovel through the snow just to get to the toilet, and they really wouldn't have it any other way.
At the golden hour, the views from the Yamchun fortress are spectacular, so it's time to go hiking.
For you geography buffs who are wondering, the view is looking west, and the river basin behind me is still the Panj River. It's going to keep being the Panj River. So where am I? Clambering rather dangerously on the exterior wall of the ruined Yamchun fortress. We're about, I'll get my altimeter out, 3,300 meters above sea level.
If you do come to Tajikistan's Wakhi Valley and there's only one thing you're going to do, I absolutely recommend this hike. Who would have thought that your slice of paradise is a highland valley on the rim of tyranny? That on the banks of a muddy river in the middle of nowhere is a way of life so different from our own. There were such profound extensions of hospitality, especially when it most mattered, and the lack of creature comforts, they were more charming than not. There are many gems in Tajikistan, many slices of paradise to cater to all tastes. But after crisscrossing this country, from the remote border with Kyrgyzstan to the fertile strip by Afghanistan, my personal favourite is the Wakhi Valley. The essence of this slice of paradise is so much more that can be narrated here. So for you, there is only one thing you can do. Go to the Wakhi, have some chai, disconnect, and perhaps you'll find your paradise.